senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Democrats called this a red line. Do not cross this red line. And it seems like our acting U.S. Attorney, Elena Habba, jumped right over it.
Well, I don't think she fears what the Democrats say. I mean, her job is to enforce federal law. If you look at the tapes, there's clearly probable cause there to believe that the Congresswoman engaged in criminal activity. Now, the feds usually don't prosecute this. Usually something like this is sent to the county prosecutor to decide whether or not it is worthy to do this. I say worthy to do this because, as you and I were talking during the break, and as I think Luke said in the prior segment, she will fundraise off of this. Mm-hmm. Why did they dismiss the charges against the mayor and institute charges against her? Is it going to be a misdemeanor, in which case there's no grand jury? Is it going to be a felony, in which case she's exposed to serious jail time and they have to bring it to a grand jury? All of these things have to be decided. However, no one can just walk into a federal detention facility, no one, and say, I want to inspect this, and that's what happened. And as a result, violence occurred. So in my opinion, the U.S. Attorney is doing the right thing.
And as a member of Congress, you have no immunity unless you're headed to and from or on the floor of the Capitol?
Correct. She would have a hard time claiming that her pit stop at this place in Newark was on her way to a meeting at the House of Representatives. So there is no immunity there. Interesting question. Why drop the charges against the mayor but not against her? This is all one big brouhaha. So a federal judge will have to resolve this. Will this impair her political career? Are you kidding? In New Jersey, this will help her political career.
All right. So moving on to another court case. We didn't get a chance to get to this last week, but I'd like to get your take now. The Supreme Court recently blocked the Trump administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act. I wouldn't say blocked it. They basically are just reiterating what you've been saying, what they previously said, due process.
Correct. So if you want to use the Alien Enemy Act, you have to hold a hearing for everybody you want to deport. That's what the Supreme Court ruled by 7-2. Second time they did this. I think they're showing frustration with the administration. 7-2 is very significant. All Trump appointees were in the majority here.
So the interesting thing when I was reviewing some of this on this case was that it seemed like the justices, again, due process, but no one can agree how much time. Apparently, the administration wanted to give 24 hours, and they're like, no, that's not enough, but we're not telling you how much time is enough.
Correct. They've sent it to lower courts to decide because it depends on things like the availability of counsel, the proximity of counsel, the detention facilities, how easy is it to get into the detention facilities. The statute itself says adequate time to gather belongings before you are forced out of the country and to challenge the deportation. Now, the statute doesn't give an hour limit on there, but 24 hours is clearly not enough time.
All right, so in another immigration-related news, a federal appeals court has ruled the administration must facilitate the return of another Venezuelan. This is Daniel Lizanzo Carmongo, Venezuelan, deported to El Salvador in March. This case seems to mirror Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation, which gained, of course, national attention. But why even bother, coming to America legally when claiming asylum seems about the best way to get in?
You know, I can't get into the heads of people, except if I lived in Venezuela or in El Salvador and had the chance at a new life in America, I probably would take the chance as well. This is another case that the government admits was improperly deported. So now a federal judge says, bring him back. The administration says, you can't tell us what to do. It's foreign relations. So the government appeals. An appellate court rules 3-0. This is a mistake. We don't punish people by mistakes. Putting him in this hellhole is punishment without trial. Bring him back and hold a hearing. This will probably go to the Supreme Court. Same thing will happen. 7-2. Bring him back. The president himself has said, if the Supreme Court orders me to do something, I'm going to do it. Look, the court shouldn't get involved in foreign affairs. But President Trump can pick up the phone and say to the president of Venezuela, you know that $1 million we owe you every month for all the prisoners you're housing? You're not getting it until 2 of them come home. And they'd be home.
Information. Truth. is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.